All right, everybody. Good morning. Good mid-morning. Hey, listen. So, I've had a lot of you reach out to me individually, ask me a lot of questions about, cryptocurrency, about Bitcoin, and then a lot of people have been asking about the other two that are on Coinbase, right? So you got Litecoin. All right. By the way, share this with people on your page because it's important that people get the information. I don't know if you saw my recent post. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Litecoin and Ethereum, but real quick, there are so many things that excite me about this world. But if you are like the little guy, right? If you're someone who always felt like you never had an opportunity to get in, like remember, the .com days and the .com craziness with the stocks and everything going up and a lot of hysteria and there's a lot of parallels there, but there are a lot of great things here that are much better, much bigger than the .com era. This is bigger than anything that you've ever seen in your lifetime for a whole host of reasons. But a lot of people have been asking me about Litecoin and Ethereum. Now, again, I'm not an expert in the world of investing. I'm certainly not a cryptocurrency expert. If you just saw my recent post, I have an expert coming on my podcast on Thursday. I'm going to broadcast it live right here, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's one of the top 5 experts in the world. I have another one coming on right after that, and then I have another one coming on right after that. So to really kind of help educate people as best I can to really kind of get the information out. So a lot of you have, some of my close friends have texted me and said, hey, what's up with Litecoin? What's up with Ethereum? Again, share this, by the way, with people on your page if you want people to understand cryptocurrency, at least to a certain degree, at least to my level of understanding. So again, people have been asking, what's going on with Litecoin? What's up with Ethereum? What's the difference? Why one versus the other, and all these other things. So here's one of the things that if I have a prediction that I can give people, and this is the one thing that I've given to a lot of individual friends about my thought process about why I think Litecoin and Ethereum are doing what they're doing, and here's why. So Bitcoin, right, which is the big one, the first one, okay? It's Bitcoin, and then there's everything else, okay? Everything else in between, they're called altcoins, okay? There's a million of them out there. They're popping up all over the place. They're popping up through what we call ICOs, initial coin offerings, ICOs, like IPOs. That's a whole nother broadcast. That's crazy what's going on in that world. I'm looking at that very closely as well, of actually doing our own ICO for a couple of my companies. But here's what's going on. So Bitcoin, if you saw my video on Sunday, I talked about the volatility of Bitcoin on Sunday as it relates to the futures market, meaning big institutional money, professional investors are getting in, and they're able to bet against it, okay? And they're also be able to bet for it, okay? The futures market, okay? You've heard of, people being able to short something, so they can short it and bet on the fact that it's going to go down and make money, and then they can also bet on the fact that it's going to go up, all right? So that, in theory, that should stabilize the world of Bitcoin, okay? Well, the underlying principle of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is the whole decentralization. If you haven't watched the documentary on Netflix called Banking on Bitcoin, I would suggest that you do that. It really gives you a firm understanding on it. So big institutional money is getting in, which is a great thing, which means that, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not a fraud. It's not a scam. When you have, billions of dollars being poured in, and when you have futures markets trading it, when you have NASDAQ eventually going to trade as well, it's a real thing, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. However, when Bitcoin goes on the futures market, like it did on Sunday, like I did say what would happen on Sunday, it would be extremely volatile. It would go up and down exactly what I said it would. I said it would go up or down, and it went down, and then it came back up, right? A lot of people like us, okay, the average everyday people, who want to get involved, right? What's happening? Okay, what's happening is people are moving some of their money, not all of it, but some of their money to the other altcoins on Coinbase. So again, I've been posting all over the place. If you text coins, COINS, to 555-888, and you do that, it'll bring you to Coinbase. It'll bring you to essentially my affiliate account, where you'd earn $10 in free Bitcoin, and I'd earn $10 in free Bitcoin. And some of my friends have been texting with, I told them as soon as Litecoin crossed 200, I knew it would skyrocket. I think it went all the way up to 470 at one point, and now it's kind of stabilizing a little bit. That's what's going to continue to happen with these other altcoins, okay, which is Ethereum and Litecoin. And Litecoin in particular is similar to Bitcoin, meaning there's a finite number of them. There's 81 million of them, which is a bigger number, okay, than the 21 million of Bitcoin, okay. So there's more time, to get in, and there's all these other things that are happening in that world. So if I were somebody in this world, what I would do is I would get involved in all three, okay? Again, I don't have a ton of money in there, and I'm not making a lot of money in this world, just so people know. And if you go out and buy Bitcoin or Litecoin, it doesn't affect me at all. But again, I think of, the average everyday person who never had an opportunity to get in an IPO, who never had an opportunity to get in, during the .com era, who never had an opportunity to really get involved in the real estate market because it was, so expensive to get in. For me, this is so exciting on so many fronts, but for the average everyday person, you could literally just spend $10 and get in, $10 in 2010 is now worth over $80,000. Let that sink in for a second, okay? So, that's my prediction. That's what I would do if I were you. Litecoin and Ethereum are going to continue to rise. It's not a question. It may dip up and down. Okay, that's just the way it is. But as Bitcoin futures, which is, by the way, on December 18th on CME, it's going to start to get traded. On December 18th, when that happens, the volatility is going to happen again, okay? It's going to go up and down again as far as Bitcoin is concerned, and maybe the other two might as well. But the average everyday person who wants to get in with a barrier of entry that's a little bit lower, Ethereum and Litecoin are definitely something to look at. And by the way, again, watch that documentary and just Google, just start reading about Litecoin, Ethereum. Ethereum's interesting because all the other altcoins, most of the other altcoins are actually sitting on the Ethereum blockchain, meaning it's an open source code that they're using, and they're not recreating the wheel. Thursday, on the Alden Report. It's on iTunes. We are going to go live right here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am going to have an expert on, and we're going to talk with her about this world, that she knows it better than me and better than most, and hopefully it'll educate you. So check it out. It'll be again Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will rebroadcast it obviously on iTunes and on my Facebook page. So hopefully this was helpful, and have a terrific day.